What's up with college football right here? Listen, folks, it's over. It's over. So adapt to the new one or just don't watch it. The product's going to be fantastic. That's the end of the day. Well, I hear the whole thing of NIL ruined it and all this stuff ruined it. It was happening anyways. There's so much money. There's such big business. You can't have one thing and not all of it, right? You can't have coaches who can leave in $50 million buyouts and then no one else gets a piece and the NCAA gets it all. Some point in time, people are going to push back and say, I want a little bit of everything. We need a little bit of everything. Pay the players a little bit. There's extreme versions, folks, but that's not everybody. So everyone calm down, right? That's not everybody. College football is still college football. You're going to be dying and staring at the TV in October, and everyone's going to be tweeting about the Auburn-Alabama game. Nothing's going to change. They're just making some money now. So everyone pump the brakes. It's not going to change. The one thing that is changing, though, is conferences. And if you're a fan of the SEC and you're a fan of the Big Ten, Godspeed, because, man, how much fun is this going to be? I love it. It's happening, so just embrace it instead of complaining about it. Because there's people that I've talked to, obviously the playoffs are going to expand, right? 10, 12, whatever that number is. I'm also hearing, too, there may be no more of the NCAA. Now, the NCAA is still going to exist, but I could see the Power Five creating their own thing, right? I'm not, that's rumors, that's whatever. That's from, it's not fact. That's an opinion with some sources involved. So take it for what it's worth. Take it for what it's worth. Hot take, not really, but also a little bit of sorcery. What are your thoughts on all this chaos?
I mean, in general, I'm not against the big power conferences. The thing that's in my brain that doesn't make sense is the logistics and locations of it all.
That's what I'm saying. You got to drop all that. People got to drop all that. If you could play an NFL game, what's the difference? We fly out. Okay. Sorry, I'm cutting you off. I love you, Jack. So I'm Penn State or I'm play at Temple, say, right? And we're playing Penn State, for example. They're playing USC. They'll fly right out of State College. They fly private. It's a 5-hour flight to the West Coast. It's no big deal. They're going to play. They're going to take off Friday. So they're going to miss classes on Friday. And they got to do the stuff online anyways. And now everything's online. So what's the big deal there? They're rolling. You go out to USC, you land. It's the same thing in the NFL. That's my thing. Like, if you can make people do it in the NFL that get paid, these guys are getting paid. They're flying first class anyways. What's the difference? It's changing. Everyone's got to strip it down. Once West Virginia went in the Big 12 anyways, I'm like, all right, it's over. Like, you can't have a team. Like, Temple almost got in the Big 12. Cincinnati's going to be in the Big 12. Now Orlando, UCF's in the Big 12. So that was like the beginning, and that really didn't bother everybody. But now USC and UCLA going to the Big 10 screws everybody up. On a side note, and I'm just spewing all the stuff that's coming in my head because Jack's the man. That's why he's the best producer and co-host in the game. He texted me and said, we got to talk Big 10. Is every game is going to be huge now for USC and UCLA. Like UCLA, Michigan State has got an awesome ring to it. Like USC, Penn State, awesome ring to it. The Rose Bowl is going to happen every year now. That's going to be the conference championship game. It's going to be awesome. They're going to play it out west, just like everything's going out west, right? The NFL Combine will eventually go there. You could have 4 NFL teams in LA. So I digress. I'm sorry I cut you off, Jack. Please continue about the geographic stuff.
It's just, I feel like it's going to take, I mean, you kind of save the first class and everything will take away from it. I just still feel, I mean, I guess I'll leave it to the expert. I'm not an NFL player. I wasn't a player in a major conference.
No, but speak your mind, though. But that's another pet peeve. And speak your mind. You have your own opinion. Just because I play or whatever, that doesn't make it any greater. It's whatever.
I just feel like it would take a big toll on players. Like, if, for example, like a team, let's say Penn State, or not even Penn State, Michigan, I think is the better example. Michigan has to say, however, in like 3 years, they have a schedule where they have to go, they play somebody out of conference week 1, then week 2, they're all out west to USC, and then week 3, they have to go all the way to Rutgers, like out in Jersey. Like, I just feel like it's a big travel tool, and then you also think the NFL aspect, like, all right, well, you have to look at a team like Dallas, who's technically in the NFC East, but is nowhere near any of them, so they have to fly to Philly, and then they could go play the Rams. So I guess it's almost like a leap for these guys in the sense of like, this is what they're going to expect if they make it to that next level. So, I mean, when you bring that sense into it, I guess it kind of makes more sense and like kind of helps with that. I also think I'm just concerned about how this will hurt the lesser programs, the less money making programs.
They're done. You better get hot now. If you're one of these teams that are like there was rumors about Temple going to the Big 12 while we were in it, right? Houston, Temple, UCF, Cincinnati, the teams that were good at the top of the American. When I think the Americans are the best, Navy was good. There was like 3 or 4 teams that weren't good at the time. Everybody was like ranked. It was like a very unique period. A lot of NFL players, and it's kind of dipped off. There's still high-end talent in that league. Obviously, UCF, Houston, and Cincinnati are leaving, right? ECU at that time was really good. They had the wideouts, the quarterbacks. Like they had some good players. Everybody did to some extent. So the league's not what it used to be, but Temple went down, so they missed that window of going to the Big 12. So they're I don't know. They got to win. Whoever can win these next 1, 2, 3 years could actually help you get bumped in. Someone will be like, all right, we'll take you into one of our conferences. We need 20 teams. So I think it's going to be great. I think it needed to change anyways to some degree. It was kind of outgrowing the current model. So I wouldn't be shocked if the season went longer. I wouldn't be shocked if they didn't play any opening kickoff games versus a D1AA team anymore. So it could get more prestigious, more room for error. Now maybe 2, 3, 4 losses can still make a champion, like a true champion now in the Big 12, or they're going to take the top 4 teams in the Big 12, right? They're automatically going to be in, or excuse me, the Big 10, the Northeast and out West. So